something on your mind anytime. I'm here to listen. Sister Talk. When you need someone who understands, I know what you're missing. Sister Talk. No matter what you're going through, don't worry, I ain't going nowhere. Sister Talk. If you ever feel alone, say the word, I'll be right there. Sister Talk. Sister, 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 sister talk, sister.
Hey, I know what that means. The Star Boutique, everybody that comes in there probably did not feel like a star, but once they leave, they are a star. Isn't that right, Tanisha? Tanisha and Danielle Skeen. Danielle is the founder and executive director, and Tanisha, you're the director of community outreach, right?
Yes,
So am I right? They come out as a star and princess, I see the crowns and all that?
Yeah, that's a pretty safe way to say it. We do call ourselves a transformative space that allows girls to shine regardless of their circumstances. So they come in, you know, their heads hung low, you know, some of them are very shy, but as you guys saw in the video, when they leave, it's just like a complete transformation. So.
Tanisha, tell me, let's get specific. What is the Star Boutique?
Well, the Star Boutique is a pop-up charity that supports young women who are living in the shelter or experiencing homelessness. And what we do is we support young people with being able to shop for brand new clothes that have been donated from different brands and department stores, as well as volunteers in New York City to come and shop for free for accessories, shoes, clothing, things that they really need. When you're dealing with homelessness, you may not always have the necessities that you need. So having the opportunity to shop for free for those things is an awesome experience for them. But it's not just about the clothes. Once the young people shop, they come and we give them a workshop, a coaching workshop around loving themselves, sisterhood, and empowerment. So it's not just about the clothing. As our founder always says, you know, we can dress them into ball gowns, but if they don't feel loved and protected and empowered, then we haven't done our job.
You said a pop-up boutique. What does that mean, Danielle?
So that means, similar to, and living in New York City, a lot of people might be familiar with pop-up shops. And what we do is, instead of having a set location, we move from place to place. So we've been in different showrooms. We partnered with Sean John and used their showroom for an event.
Wow, great.
We have corporate sponsors that will donate spaces to us. We had different event spaces that we would rent, and what we do is we set it up so it looks like a high-end fashion boutique. So if any celebrity that you can name, if they were going to go shopping and the way that they would be treated when they go shopping, that's the experience that we provide to our girls. So instead of having it in one place, we're able to move into cities and areas of Manhattan and New York City that some of these girls may have never imagined. You know, think about it, if you're a teenage girl and you go to the Sean John showroom, you know what it's like. You hear people talking about wearing this brand, you see pictures of Sean Combs on the wall, and you're in this building that this is his, you know. So and when you walk in, we're treating you like how he would be treated. So it's really a full experience. It's a full-on experience. Yeah. There's a line. Everybody can come. Yes.
So everybody can come. That's the next question. What is the criteria? Do you have to be homeless and living in a shelter, or low income, or what have you?
You do have to be a low-income young person, and living in New York City, that can mean a lot of different things. We work with a lot of young people who have experienced domestic violence in their family, but you have to, a lot of young people who are living in NYCHA residences and public housing, you do have to be a young person in need, because that is the experience that you're coming with, and that's the exchange that we're giving you. So yes, you do have to be a young person in need.
You know, based on this video, I see a lot of clothes, I see a lot of jewelry and shoes. I mean, that is very important for women, period. Shoes. No woman should have just one pair of shoes. Okay? No woman should have that. How do you all move these apparels, these clothes, these jewelries, these shoes? I mean, where do you get the funding from and all that?
God bless our volunteers.
Volunteers.
Volunteers. The Star Boutique is 110, 150% volunteer driven. So what we do, we have individuals that have cars or trucks or vans that will support us in collecting clothes. There's people that would use our office spaces, you know, have a little section reserved just for the Star Boutique so they can collect items for us. And they help us transform it to the boutique sessions. And then after the sessions as well, they help us with distributing it to other shelters where girls probably couldn't make it to the boutique session. But we don't want to hold on to it if we know that there are definitely people in need. So we'll also hand it over to those individuals as well. But volunteers are really our core, and they help us move things from location to location as well as collecting it.
Oh, really? So you all have maybe 4 or 5 cars going here? Or
yeah, or a big van, or it
van.
varies. We might rent a car. There's just different ways that we do it, but we're very organic and grassroots. And I think that's what we love about it, because anyone can participate. I may not have any clothes to donate, but I have a car, I can pick up clothes for you. Or I don't have a car, but I can collect things at my office and someone can pick it up. So there's always a way for someone to get involved outside of the actual boutique day.
Please call in 212-757-1393. That's 212-757-1393. Maybe you have a question for Danielle and Tanisha, or maybe you just want to volunteer or donate clothes. I think this is awesome what these young people are doing. They are under 30 years old. And let me tell you, when I was about 25, 26, I wasn't, I mean, I was thinking about, you know, helping people out. I helped people out when I could, but not as much the energy that you all put into it. You know, I was still trying to find myself, and I just found it. I just found myself.
At least you found it.
Yeah, at least I found it. So why did you start this? I mean, again, you're 25, 26 years old, under 30 years. Why are you doing this?
I think for me, I just feel like that's just my responsibility. I think a lot of people feel like to get into any kind of philanthropic work or any type of charity, you have to get to a certain level and have a lot of money, and then you just give back. And I feel like, why not? You know, there was people along the way in my journey that helped me along the way. Why not help out girls in need? And I think naturally I just have a soft spot for teenage girls in need. I love clothes, I love fashion, and I feel like it's a great way to kind of bring the two together. So that was specifically what kind of tailored the Star Boutique. It's like you're providing a direct need, which is, you know, the clothing, the shoes, the accessories, but the mind state that these girls are in because of their situations, we're able to do that mentorship aspect as well. So, you know, I feel like we shouldn't have to wait to get to a certain level. If girls need help now and we have the resources to do it, why not help them out?
Okay, we have a phone call. Caller, you watch the Sister Talk TV show. Say hello to my guests, Tanisha and Danielle. Hello, caller.
Oh, hi, yes. Congratulations to you both. I think that's amazing what you're doing.
Okay, what's your name and where are you calling from?
Oh, I'm Michelle. I'm calling from Arizona.
Oh, Arizona? Oh, really? Well, thank you for calling, Michelle. So what you have to say, huh?
Basically, I just want to know, is there a way to get something like that started out here? Because there are a lot of young black women, teenagers that are in the shelter system, and that's a great way to get them to feel good about themselves. I love that.
Okay, thank you, Michelle.
Our goal is definitely to expand the work that we're doing. We know that this is a huge need. So in the future, as we collect funding and can expand our brand and our partnerships with community members, we definitely have a goal to expand.
You deal with a lot of, I understand that you really are the one who deals directly with the girls. I'm quite sure you do that as well. But yes, that's your energy. How is it dealing with those type of personalities that are living in homeless shelters. I mean, they're coming, maybe they had a house, maybe they had an apartment. Because of these economic times, you know, things fall, turn to the worst. How do you deal with those type of personalities? Is it bad, negative?
It's a wonderful experience. I was those personalities.
Oh,
I
really?
have
Wow.
experienced homelessness as a young person.
Wow.
So I'm clear about what they need. Young people are amazing, they're awesome, and we look at them as if they're possibilities and not problems. So it's not, you know, they're in a circumstance, they're in a situation. Unfortunately, I really hear more about it, but once they walk into that boutique, that circumstance means nothing. We welcome them with love. There are a lot of young women of color there to support them. So I mean, I take what their experiences are and I put it in my backpack, and I don't meet them that way. I see what's
really?
possible for them.
So you
I don't
just-
need to see that they live in a one-bedroom shelter apartment with 8 of their siblings. I don't need to encounter them on that level. So I look at what's possible for them.
So what's the goal here? What's the goal here for these young girls? Actually, is it specifically for the young girls?
Yes.
Or, okay, so what's the goal there?
Well, I'll start off, but in our statement, it's transformation overall.
Transformation.
So initially, this started off as a one-time thing. You know, we wanted to do something nice for these girls. You know, let's find a way to give them clothes, and we realized coming out of that session that there is a direct need, and we realized that, okay, this is a great experience while they're here, but they are going back to those situations.
Exactly,
So
yeah.
what we're starting to do now is to develop a separate leg that we're going to call Star Saturdays, where we're able to check in with the girls.
Oh,
so this is going to
wow,
be
that's
like a
great.
group mentorship program. This is going to be Tanisha's baby, because this is the world that she comes from, and we really want to keep the girls engaged and really track their progress along the way, because when we're talking to them in the boutique sessions, you know, we realize that we don't know what happens when they leave, and if we're going to take them in, we want to make sure that we see them get to what's really possible for them. So that's what we're going to do next, is really outside of the boutique sessions, is to have these Star Saturday sessions where we can keep the girls engaged. And I don't know if you want to piggyback
The
on
goal
it,
is
but-
just not to dress them with pretty clothes. It's about dressing them with confidence and empowerment and sisterhood, and supporting them to build a community, because that's the need. I mean, it's really, really important that young people, young women, young people everywhere, but young women have a space that they feel safe to build and connect, to build the life that they want to see for themselves.
You
So
know,
that's the goal.
Today's culture, today's youth culture today, and not all of them, but sometimes when I walk down the street or on subways or on the bus, I hear a lot of profanity, a lot of disrespect, and sometimes I think that this generation is lost. Is that an issue with you all when you're dealing with the youth in your projects?
Not at all. We really come from a place where we meet the young people where they are, and yes, the way that they represent themselves is something important, but we're not there yet. You know, once you get young people and build trust with them, you're able to talk about those other issues of, you know, profanity or not dressing appropriately, but from the door, that's not going to get them in the door. They're going to leave. So it's about having them feel safe to build that relationship, to talk about these things. Relationship building is extremely important. So that's really what we focus on. And that's why we're having Star Saturdays, to have some more of those internal conversations that you just mentioned.
Well, what about, I understand that, but it's so much a part of their lifestyle, some of this. Because a couple of days ago, I was walking to the store, and a young lady was in a car accident, well, a taxi cab accident. Luckily, nobody was hurt, but she came out just cursing, and just the profanity that was coming out of her mouth. Didn't care who was around, what was around, and all that. I just think that is so much a part of them that it's just so hard to get out. So what are these programs there for? What do the programs do to really change that? To change that you don't have to talk like that.
Well, I really feel like it's about safe space. I work with, this is the type of work that I do, and young people didn't just come to the earth at 15 or 16. There was some type of development, there was some type of community, there was some type of influence. So I think often, as adults, we forget what it's like to be a young person.
Exactly.
We forget what it's like to be frustrated, to be angry, to be disappointed, to be upset. So that's why we meet young people where they are, and then make them feel safe, and then we address some of those issues. But you're correct, it's so much embodied in the way that they live, but we're not there to judge them about that.
How did you all hook up?
Like mine. No, but Tanisha and I met 5 years ago. when I had first moved to New York. I'm originally from Florida.
Oh, okay.
And together we were working at a nonprofit organization. So dealing with this population isn't anything that's 100% new to us. Just in this capacity is what's different. And we've just kept in contact ever since. And even though we both are no longer at that organization, we kind of have our own things going on in our lives. We still had that connected passion to want to help our youth. And, you know, we check each other. It's a good check and balance system, you know. if I need to be checked, she'll make sure that I get checked. And, you know, we've just always had this friendship, and because of our passions, it was able to work in this partnership and what we're doing with the girls, so.
That's interesting. So how do you really go about developing their self-esteem? Because I remember, and I hate my 20s. I mean, my 20s was so much of an experiment for me. I didn't know which way was up, where I was going, what have you. I mean, I even rode cross country to California. My father says no. I mean, he literally got, you know, in the alley, spread eagle, you're not going anywhere. And when he knew that I was going, he just taught me how to change a tire. He said, okay, you know. I mean, how do you build that self-esteem, that self-esteem to those children that are somewhat lost?
Firstly, you really need to be authentic. If you're not being authentic about the process or engaging a young person, they will smell it, and then you would have another issue to encounter. But you have to really be passionate about wanting to develop that young person. And it's really about, what are you good at? What do you do? What do you like to do? It's firstly about relatedness, because a lot of young people haven't been asked those questions. How do you feel about this? What do you like to do? What do you want to do 5 years from now? They're so used to having to be depositories and being spoken to instead of spoken with. So I think the first level that we do is just creating relatedness with the young people.
Are the parents allowed in the boutique?
Oh, parents, yes.
Really?
So yeah, the parents can come. We have a whole separate section where the parents can sit, or any chaperones from the shelters, because I mean, you let your kids out. But we do try to limit the amount of parents, because just to go back to what you're saying, some of these self-esteem issues stem from their parents. So as much as they want to be there to see their child succeed, if you're constantly saying you're fat and you're this and you're that, and that person is in the room, you're not able to fully focus and have that conversation, that experience that we need you to have. So even though parents are allowed, we do try to have them trust us a little bit to see if, you know, they don't mind staying. But
and they do. They love us.
Yeah.
The parents love the Star Boutique. They come to us and thank us at the end.
At the end, yes.
Who can't love you guys?
Thank you.
It's crazy not to. We have some pictures. Can you show some pictures up, please, control room? So tell us, what's that all about? What's that picture
So
about?
this was after our prom session. So in the front, the three of us in the bright colors. So these are, this is, you see Tanisha, this is LaToya Westbrook. She's also on our board. And these are just some of our volunteers after the session. Again, like we said before, we're all 100% volunteer driven, so no one is paid for their time or their services or anything like that. So those are like the hairstylists, makeup artists, wardrobe stylists, and they just volunteer their time with us.
Okay, can we see some more pictures? Not me. Okay.
It's a pretty picture.
Thank you. So, you know, I saw crowns on there and all that. Does every girl get a crown?
Yes, that is the whole purpose. Every girl gets a crown. We're not doing the traditional let's vote for one person to be prom queens. They came into the door as prom queens, so we made a decision to give every girl a crown.
Oh, that's so great.
We reminded them too, like even when you take it off, you still have on that invisible crown. So just own it. You are a queen, and the way that queens are treated and the way that they feel about themselves, that's how you need to carry yourself, whether you're wearing it or not. But they have that little reminder with them.
So the funders that are funding you all, the majority of the funders are just everyday individuals.
Yes, at this point, it's just regular individuals, whatever they have to spare, they're sending it our way.
So what do you do? What do you do for? You're not getting paid doing this.
No.
So what are you all doing to pay your bills?
Well, outside the Star Boutique, I work in advertising. So I work at an advertising agency here in the city. So that's the day job. And then Star Boutique is the 24/7.
How about yourself, Tanisha?
I work in law reform, actually, and I run a youth leadership program for young people.
Wow, you all just can't stop.
No.
I understand
We're busy.
that you're
We stay busy.
You're part of the community department at your firm?
Yeah, so at the agency that I work for, we have, it's called KBS, and we have KBS Cares, which is our community or activist group. So what we do is encourage our volunteers to participate. And I even took it to another level. We use one of our spaces at the office to have the Star Boutique session there. Yep. So we transformed the entire office space. We had volunteers to come and help set up, to help clean up. We had more than enough clothes. We still have clothes left over from that session. They donated money, step and repeat.
Oh, so you,
you
get your co-workers and the CEO.
So our CEO came in with a bag of donations.
Get out
so
of
this
here.
woman
Wow.
is a CEO of a large agency, and she came in to support the Star Boutique. And I think that's the beauty of what we do, because the cause is something that anyone can relate to. And I mean, who doesn't want to give clothes to someone in need? So I think it really works out in our benefit.
I want to get back to you all. You know, it amazes me, and I'm just bewildered when I meet people like you all that go out and give it your all without money, without pretty much anything, just this passion to help other people. Where do you get it from besides God? I mean, when did that light bulb moment come on and said, this is what I have to do, I gotta do this? You're tossing and turning in bed and you roll over and you wake up and say, I gotta do this. Just tell me when that light bulb moment came. Did you all have light bulb moments?
I think it's a couple of light bulb moments.
Yeah.
Okay, what was the one that had the most impact on you?
I mean, since I was a young person, 16 or 17 years old, I've been privileged to have mentors and community members in my life to really support me along the way during my struggles. And in those moments, I realized how important it is for young people, like myself at that time, to have people that really pulled them and supported them along the way. So for me, I was always clear that it was what I'm supposed to be doing, and it was my mission and my duty for life.
I think for me it came when I first moved to New York and I was at a nonprofit. So when I went, it was temporary. I was supposed to be there for 6 months. Like, that was just not nonprofit charity. That wasn't my thing. Like, working there, I realized that the girls that I work with today, I had judgments against them. I used to look at them like, oh, you're a teen mom, that means you're irresponsible, you're this, you're that. I had all of these judgments in the world, and it wasn't until I had to come smack dab and face to face and work with these girls, hear their situations, hear the reasons why they're in the situations that they're in, and I was like, oh my gosh. Like, first I had to like forgive myself for even like thinking those things that I was thinking about them, and then after hearing their stories, I was just like, all right, I need to make it my duty to make sure that these girls know that there's something else that's possible for them. You know, just things like college. You went to college? And in my head at the time, with that judgment, duh, like everybody goes to college, which is what I'm thinking in my head. But when girls have their parents saying, you know, you don't go to school, only white people go to college. It's just like, okay, I get it. You're in a household, you've been raised a certain way. I need to make sure that I can show them that something else is possible. So for me, I would say that moment came exactly 5 years ago. I've always volunteered and what have you, but it didn't really get real or personal for me until 5 years ago. I think if everybody operates from a place of love, just like you guys said before, we won't be having these conversations about violence and guns and death and whatever it is. It's just whatever we put your attention to, that's what you're gonna get more of. So if you're just like, everybody's bad and everybody's violent, that's what's gonna happen. If we start interacting with people as if they're loving, they're capable of love, they're deserving of love, then only positive things can come from that.
Don't worry, I ain't going nowhere. If you ever feel alone, say the word, I'll be right there. Sister talk, sister, 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 sister talk, sister, 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 sister talk, sister, 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 sister talk, sister, sister, sister. Ooh. Sister talk.